Hello baseball fans, this is Anthony with BBSN and we are back for start number 9 in the Fergie Jenkins 1969 replay. And today the Cubs welcome the Padres to Wrigley Field, and Ferguson, in comparison to real life, in the replay he is currently 6-2 with a 1.88 ERA. He has been pitching excellently his last 3 starts. He had 67 innings pitched, only 39 hits allowed, 6 walks, and 65 strikeouts, 4 home runs. And in real life at this point in time, he was 4-2 with a 2.77 ERA, which still is pretty good. 65 innings pitched, 54 hits allowed, 11 walks, 51 Ks, and 8 home runs given up. And the big difference there is heading into start number 7, he had allowed 4 home runs in both real life and the replay, and in real life he gave up a pair of home runs in both starts 7 and 8. In both cases, he is the Cubbies are 6-2 in games that Fergie starts in, so he's keeping him in the game well enough to win. And this game in real life took place on 5/12/1969, and this was a 2-0 Cubbies win over the Pods. So without further delay, we shall get things going here as Fergie's on the mound. He's warmed up, and stepping up is Van Kelly for the Padres. And Fergie going to start it out patient, and against the right-hander, that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. And up with that is Beckert, whips it over to Banks, 1 down. Roberto Pena up next for the Padres, and Fergie kicks, delivers, and 10 is going to be in play. And that'll be a ground ball down to Beckert again, so 2 quick outs to Beckert. And that brings up Tony Gonzalez, the Padres center fielder. Gonzalez steps in, and it's going to be a tough result, and Jenkins is going to have a 3-up, 3-down inning as this goes to center field. And under that is Don Young, and we head to the bottom of the first inning. No score for the Padres. Cubbies coming to bat. And Fergie starts out where he has left off in his last 3 starts. Don Kessinger steps in against Gary Ross, and that is going to be in play. And Kessinger's going to get it going for the Cubbies with a single into left field. So the Cubbies looking to get on the board early here as Glenn Beckert steps up. And Kessinger will not try and run. The Cubbies do not steal a lot of bases. And the pitch, and it's going to be in play. And 33 for Beckert, just out of range. That'll be a pop-up to shortstop. So parking under that is Pena, and there is 1 down with sweet swinging Billy Williams up for the Cubbies. And Kessinger has his lead. Here comes the pitch, and that's tough, 38. And Billy Williams is going to get a hold of that and drive that into right field. So again, we use the fast action cards on base hits and errors. And on that single, sharp liner drops in front of the outfield. The runner on first advances 1 base. So Kessinger is forced to stop at second, but the Cubbies with a pair of base runners here in the first inning and a threat going, and Ron Santo coming up. And Santo, the pitch from Ross, and 10 is in play, and Santo gets a hold of that, and that's driven into the right field corner. Goes opposite field with it. It rattles around. They have it overshifted, and coming around to score will be both Kessinger and Williams as Santo, in with a head-first slide to third. He beats out a triple, 2 RBIs on that. And the Cubbies jump to a 2-0 lead. And the way Fergie's been pitching lately, that is usually enough. And that's exactly how this game ended in real life. But Ernie Banks wants to get more, and 6 will be patient. And Banks, he's going to draw the base on balls, so runners at the corners, and Ross in early trouble for the Padres. Still only 1 down as Randy Hundley steps in. And Hundley, he can go yard here, and that's going to be patient. And 99, we are going to go to the rare play chart. So multiple runners on, we will go to column 3 on the chart, and a roll of 47. So 47, and that is going to be go to the weather chart and roll 1 die 10 for result. And we will re-roll, actually not using the weather chart in this replay, so we will just ignore that rare result and replay the at-bat versus re-rolling. So here comes a pitch again from Ross, and 10, that's going to be in play, and Hundley has a sharp single, and let's see what the fast action cards say on there. A long single into the gap into center field, runner on first advances 1, runner on second scores. So Ernie Banks going to stop at second base. Coming in from third is Ron Santo, and the Cubbies up 3-0 now on an RBI single by Randy Hundley. And still only 1 out, no action in the Padres bullpen. They need Ross to give them a few innings today. And 9, that's going to be tough to Spanky Spangler, and Spangler, and that's going to be a ground ball down to first base, and 9 is outside of Spangler's double play rating, and even with Ross, who will go to the 2-10 and trying for the 3-6-3 double play, and they do not get it. So over to third goes Banks, and 3-6. Hundley is erased at second base, and on a fielder's choice is Spangler, and that brings up Don Young, and he is the 8th Cubby to come to bat here in the first. So 2 down, runners at the corner. Here comes a pitch from Ross, and Ross going to be tough and swing and a miss, strike 3. So that time the low roll benefits Ross, but the Cubbies, they strike for 3 runs on a total of 4 hits, and giving Fergie an early lead as we are through 1. Score Cubbies 3, Padres 0. And the Padres with a hill to climb out of early in this game, as Ollie Brown set to lead off second for them. And 9's going to be tough. 12, that's a big swing and a miss, and Fergie's got his first strikeout of the day. Nate Colbert comes up, and Colbert, the slugging first baseman, digs in. Here comes a pitch from Fergie. That's going to be a defensive check, and 44 will be the roll. That is an error check on the center fielder, and out in center field is Don Young, who is a 3. Roll of 44, and error check. That is going to be an error. And so for outfield, that is going to be a single +1. So Colbert singles to center field, and Young misplays it, allowing him to go to second base on the E8. And Fergie gives Young a glare, is not happy with that result. So 1 down, and Al Ferrara steps in. And coming in from Fergie, that's going to be in play, and that'll be a fly out to center field. This time Young squeezes that and gets it back in. Back to second goes Colbert, 2 down now for Ed Spezio. Spezio digs in. Fergie delivers, ballpark, and 96 is going to be an in-play result. So Spezio gets a hold of it, gets some wood on the ball, and that is just out of range for the right-hander. It's going to be a line drive right at second baseman Becker. He stabs that, a nice play. So the Pods are retired. They get 1 hit but no runs. 1 runner left. We're heading to the bottom of the second inning. Cubbies lead this 3-0, and Fergie will lead off the second for the Cubs. And that'll be patient, and Fergie's going to fly out to left field. So get some wood on the ball, but a harmless fly ball out there to Al Ferrara as top of the order Don Kessinger comes up, and he singled and scored his first time up. And 8's going to be patient, and Kessinger going to work a walk from Ross, so he's on for the second time today. And we will see if Kessinger is going to run. He's going to try and steal, so a C, and behind the plate for the Padres, Canzanaro. So this is going to be a 3C, and he's got to have a 43-99 to make it in there. Kessinger with the lead. He goes. Canzanaro comes up throwing and guns him down. So Kessinger, an ill-advised steal attempt, and there are 2 outs now as that brings up Glenn Beckert. And Canzanaro just nipped him there. Got the ball there a fraction of a second first, and this is going to be a tough result. And Beckert on the fly out to right field, and the inning is over. So a walk, but nobody left, and the Cubs do not score in the second. We head to the top of the third, 2-0 Chicago on top. And Canzonero, who did a great job gunning down Kessinger, will lead it off. And that'll be a defensive check again. And that's going to be an error check on the third baseman, Santo, who is a 3. And Santo makes a fine play there, gobbles that up, fires across the banks, and Canzonero is retired. 5-3 on the putout, and that brings up the pitcher Gary Ross. And Ross, who got off to a rough start in this ball game, giving up 3 runs in the first inning, steps in. And that's going to be tough, and Ross doesn't even know why he's up there as he heads back to the dugout. 3 pitches right by him, and the high heat is number 3. Back to the top of the order, 2 down. And Fergie, his second strikeout of the day, as Van Kelly steps in. And that's going to be a tough result, and Kelly just misses putting that into play and pops it up to shortstop instead. Kessinger underneath that, taps the glove, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So 3 up, 3 down, which is a Fergie tradition as we head to the bottom of the 3rd, still 3-0 Cubbies, and Billy Williams leads it off for the Cubs. He singled and scored his first time up. And 7's going to be in play, and Billy Williams is going to single again. Drives this one between first and second base and rounds the bag, heads back, and Ron Santo, the fleet-footed Ron Santo, who made it to 3rd in just under 37 seconds because they couldn't feel the ball out there, but it drove in 2 runs. Here comes a pitch, and that'll be in play again, and Santo gets a hold of that one. He's got a base hit. And fast action card, long single into the gap in center field. Runner on first advances 1 base plus manager's decision. And Billy Williams is a 7 and out in center field. We have an arm of 8, so it has to be a roll of 7 or less. And he's going to go for it. Or I'm sorry, it has to be a roll of 8, or it's in between, so never mind. In between, in that case, we go to the 2-die 10. So this will be a 11 or 0 to 45 result. He will be out. And 46 to 99 safe. So here comes the throw in for center. And he is gunned down. So Billy Williams, trying to stretch an extra base out of that, is retired 8 to 5, and Santo stays at first base. So 1 down, runner on first, Ernie Banks up. And a little bit of a base running error there. And 2 for Ross is going to be wheelhouse, and Ernie Banks takes a big swing, and he drives that into the gap in left center. That's going to be off the wall, a double. And a double is going to be a... Now they have grounder down the line. That'll work too. Runners advance 2 bases, so second and third. And Williams getting gunned down at third base looms even larger now, as the Cubbies would have had a run in and still nobody out, as there is 1 down. Runners on second and third, and Randy Hundley coming up. And Hundley had an RBI single his first time up, and Ross in a jam again. And 9's going to be tough, and he comes up big, swing and a miss. Hundley goes down swinging, 2 outs. So base running blunders here costing the Cubbies, and now Ross can get out of this with no damage as Al Spangler steps in. And 8's going to be patient, and 26. And Spangler's going to draw the base on balls. That's going to load him up. So sacks are juiced, nowhere to put anybody, and Don Young comes up for the Cubbies, and Young, he struck out his first time up, and Ross could use another one here. Here comes a pitch. And 9's going to be tough, 37 to Young, and gets it again. A big swing and a miss and a big strikeout as the Cubbies leave the sacks loaded. 3 hits, and they can't put a run across, so we head to the top of the 4th inning, still 3-0 Chicago. And oh, if Billy had held up on second base, he would have had at least 1 in, but water under the bridge as Pena steps up, and here comes a pitch from Fergie. That's going to be ballpark. 0-5 will be wheelhouse, and Pena Not a huge power hitter, but he gets a hold of this one, and it's going to be a harmless fly ball to center field that Don Young puts away, one down. So the dice and the baseball gods treating Fergie well here as Tony Gonzalez steps in. And 7 will be in play. That'll be a fly out to right field, 2 down. Downtown Ollie Brown steps in for the Padres. Fergie kicks, delivers, and tough. That's going to be a swing and a miss, and Brown goes down, waving foolishly at the slider. Another 3 up, 3 down inning for Fergie, and 8 in a row set down by him as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still 3-0 Cubbies. And Fergie's going to lead this off here in the 4th. And it's going to be patient, and Fergie not patient enough as he grounds up that shortstop, and up with that is Pena. Flips it over to Colbert, and 1 down for the Cubbies. Back to the top of the order, Kessinger. He is 1 for 1. He's walked and singled, scored a run, caught stealing, and Ross kicks, delivers, and wheelhouse, and Kessinger, big swing, but that's going to be a harmless ground ball down to first base, and Colbert takes that unassisted, 2 down. Glenn Beckert, the keystone, second bagger, steps in, and Ross, the pitch is going to be tough, and 77 will be a ground ball down to short. So Pena whips that over to Colbert, and the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down for the Cubbies. And we're heading to the top of the 5th, halfway through this one. Cubbies lead 3-0 as Big Nate Colbert steps in for the Pods. And that's going to be a tough result and rare play again. So 99, no runners on. And 42, so 42. Uh-oh, possible injury to pitcher. Check injury rating against the next action number, which in this case, no good. So Fergie is durable. And on durable, he needs a 0 to 69 to stay in the game, and he is good. So thank goodness for that. And we will replay the at-bat, and dodging a disaster there on the rare play chart. Colbert back in there. That's going to be in play, and Colbert grounds that down to Kessinger, whips it over to Banks, and 1 away. So Fergie had a little bit of a twinge there in his side. He stretches it out. He's good to continue as Al Ferrara steps in. And that is going to be tough. And Ferrara, swing and a miss, heads back to the dugout. A little bit overheated, so he gets fanned, and that's 2 away. Ed Spezio steps in, and Fergie looking for another 3 up, 3 down inning. Would be his 3rd in a row. Here comes a pitch. And 5, patient, 46, and that's going to be a single. So Spezio breaks that string, and Fergie had set down 10 batters in a row prior to that. So the Padres have their first base runner since the 2nd, and Spezio is a terrible base stealer. So he hopes to roll above a 3, which he does, and Chris Canzonero, opportunity to get the Padres on the board, and that's tough, but Fergie's got other ideas. He blows 3 right by him. The high heat takes Canzonero down. So the Pods get a hit, no runs, no errors. We head to the bottom of the 5th, still 3-0 Cubs. And Gary Ross, how he does this inning will probably determine if he gets to stay in the game beyond this one. And 4 is going to be in play to sweet swinging Billy Williams, and Williams grounds that down to first base. Colbert plucks it, walks to the bag himself, and 1 away. Ron Santos steps up. Comes a pitch, and that's going to be another in play result, and Santo gets a hold of that and hits that down to Colbert as well. This time he needs the assistance. Flips it over to Ross covering, and 2 up, 2 down. So Ross settled into a little bit of a groove here. Had a very rough 3rd inning, which he managed to escape without any runs, and has set down 6 in a row. And 5, that's going to be tough, and 81 to Ernie Banks. It's going to be a ground ball to shortstop, And Pena whips that over to Colbert, and 3 up, 3 down again for Ross and the Pods. So we are through 5. Cubbies lead this 3-0, and Ross, he's got a fatigue rating of 5. So technically at this point he would be tired. So we're going to pinch hit for him. He'd be tired or fatigued in the next inning. So Ross's day is done, and warming up in the bullpen will be Johnny Padres, the veteran on the tail end of his career. And Padres, the southpaw, will take over for Ross in the bottom of the 6th. So really not a bad outing for Ross. He ends up going 5 innings. Does give up 7 hits, but they were grouped, 4 in the first, 3 in the third. Gives up 3 runs, all earned. He was a little bit wild today. He did have, actually not too bad. Had a couple of walks and 3 strikeouts. Actually 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. And was not burned by the deep ball. So the Padres need a pinch hitter for Ross. And going to the bench, it looks like and Ivan Morel is going to be the pinch hitter. So Morel comes in for Ross. And Fergie is ready to go. Top of the 6th inning underway, and the pitch is going to be patient from Fergie, and Morel, he's going to ground that down to third base, and up with that is Santo, fires over to Banks, 1 out. And back to the top of the order for the Padres, and Van Kelly, the second baseman, digs in from the left side, takes a couple of practice hacks. Here comes a pitch. And 7's going to be in play, and Fergie is going to induce another ground ball down to Santo. So 2 quick outs handled by the hot corner, and Roberto Pena, the shortstop, comes up with 2 away. And 6 will be tough, and it's going to be a fly ball to right field, and camping under that is Spangler, his first out of the game, and Fergie back on the 3 up, 3 down kick. He continues to pitch well. This has been an incredible 4-game stretch for him. Heading to the bottom of the 6th inning, still 3-0 Padres with Randy Hundley leading off. And 4 is going to be in play, and that's going to be a single for Hundley. So the Cubbies looking to get some insurance here as Al Spangler steps in, and Hundley does not want to try and steal. Does not get the lead there, and it is a 49. So 11 on defensive check. And that's going to be a range check left field. So Al Farrar out there, and he is an F, which is about as bad as it gets. He's not going to get to that. 67 will be a hit. And the hit in the outfield is going to be a single. Runners advance 2 bases. So the defense behind Padres lets him down as Hundley scampers over to third, and on with a single is Spangler. And that brings up Don Young. And Young would like to get a hit here to give Fergie another run or more. And 0-0, and actually, shoot, 0-0 is actually the rare event chart. So we're going to have, I checked twice on 99 because that's what I have it set on in the baseball game I'm working on. So, oh well. Multiple runners on, so 0-0s and payoff pitches, the rare event chart, and 64. So sorry about that. Luckily, not a thing came of those rare events. So 64 multiple runners, wild pitch. If runner on third base, he is out at home. Otherwise, advance 1. So that one gets away, and coming in to score, Hundley is gunned down on an exceptional play by Canzonero. Whips it to Padres, who puts a tag down going to second base. is Spangler, so that's going to be the 2-1 put out. So one away, runner on second base now for Young. And here comes a pitch. 7's going to be in play, and that's going to be a single by Young. And on that, long single into the gap in center field. Runner on second base advances one base. So the Cubbies, they are not getting runners around to score when they have the opportunity, and hopefully this will not come back to bite them. With runners on the corner, one away, they're going to let Jenkins, who's not a terrible hitting pitcher, swing away. So 9 is tough, and 55, you know when it goes there, there's only one result, and that ends up with Fergie walking back to the dugout, head hung low, dragging his bat. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 outs, top of the order, and Kessinger would really like to get a hit here for the Cubbies. Padres kicks and delivers, and wheelhouse, not going to happen though. That's going to be a harmless fly ball to left field. So once again, the Cubbies squander 3 hits in the bottom of the 6th inning. That is 10. They're third in the 6th inning, 3 hits in each inning, and they fail to score a single run in either. So we'll see how that comes into play as we head to the top of the 7th. Tony Gonzalez up to face Fergie. And that's going to be a tough, and it will be a ground ball down to Santo. Santo fires over to Banks, 1 down. Downtown Ollie Brown, and he can go yard. Better against left-handers though, and that's going to be a ballpark check, and that will be in play. So 1 to 30 here, and not going to happen. It's going to be a ground ball to shortstop instead. Kessinger picks that up on the 3rd hop, fires over to Banks, 2 away. Nate Colbert comes up now for the Padres. Going to get something going here, and 7's going to be in play, and he's going to double. That's going to be into the gap in left center field, off the wall, and Colbert with a stand-up double as Young gets it back in. So the Padres, second time this game they've put a runner on second base. This is only their 3rd hit of the game. Al Ferrara is going to try and get him home, and that was a 5 on the white die. So 45, and in play, Ferrara. Stead's going to ground that down to Banks, and he plays first base like he's had a little time at shortstop. Up with that easily, walks to the bag, and the inning is over. So 7th inning stretch here at the old ball game. No guest singers in the house tonight. I'd say unfortunately, but that's probably fortunately for viewers. So Beckert's going to lead it off, and Padres starting his 2nd inning of work, and down in the bullpen, Dave Roberts, another left-hander, is going to start to loosen up for San Diego. And 6 will be in play, and Beckert is going to ground that down to second base. So 1 down as Van Kelly's got the put out there for the Padres. Billy Williams comes up. And sweet swinging Billy Williams. He has singled twice today, grounded out to first base. Has also scored a run. And Billy's going to have his 3rd hit of the day, yet another single. This one goes back up the middle, rounds first. And the Cubbies have potential action again. And Williams gets the lead, though. He's going to run. And 3C, 43 to 99 to be safe. And Billy Williams showing the wheels off there, steals second base. I think that caught Canzonero napping, as not expecting Williams to run, but Santo now has a runner in scoring position. Here comes a pitch, and patient, and Santo's going to drive that into the outfield, a single, and that will be a grounder up the middle. Runner on second base scores, so a huge insurance run comes across for the Cubbies, and that stolen base really looms big now. As Santo with the RBI single, he has 3 of the 4 Cubs, or counts for 3 of the 4 Cubbies runs here with that triple in the 1st inning. And now this, so runner on first base, 1 down. And Santo, oh my God. Santo's going to get a little frisky with it, but he is an F, so he needs 85 to 99 to be safe. What was he thinking? He's gunned down by a mile as they were timing him going to second base with a sundial there. So 2 of 3 Cubbies base stealing attempts have ended horribly today. So 2 away, and you hear Duke in the background. He's like, what was he doing running? Duke said I could have scampered down to second base quicker than him. And 10 is going to be in play, 45 to Banks. It's going to be a pop-up to shortstop. So the inning is over, but the Cubs do string together a couple of hits and get a very big 3rd or 4th run. So we head to the top of the 8th inning, and it is now 4-0 Cubbies. And that's going to be Padres' last inning of work. So in preparation for a pinch hitter, Dave Roberts will be set to come in. And Padres' final line, he went 2 innings. Gave up 5 hits, but somehow only a single run, thanks mainly to some poor base running choices by the Cubs. Did not walk anybody and had 1 strikeout. And Roberts is going to finish it off for the Padres. So Ed Spezio leads off the 8th inning. Here comes a pitch, and that's tough from Fergie, and 59. Be a ground ball down to Beckert. Beckert over to Banks, and 1 away. Next up, catcher Chris Canzonero. And Fergie, he's feeling that complete game, and yet another shutout. Wouldn't that be something? Here comes a pitch, and that's tough, and swing and a miss. Blows that right by him. So pitcher spot due up next, and back to the bench go the Padres, and it is going to be future Toronto Blue Jays manager Cito Gaston is going to pinch hit here. So Gaston looking to start a little bit of 2-out magic for the Padres, and Fergie, he's not on board with that plan. Kicks and delivers, and ballpark though, 59 against the right-hander. That is going to be in play. But the Gaston was a big power hitter anyway, and 0-5, and Gaston's going to drive a triple into the gap, and motors all the way around to third before that can be retrieved. So a 2-out triple, and the Padres have their best threat of the game as we get back to the top of the order, and Van Kelly. And out in the Cubbies bullpen, left-hander Hank Aguirre begins to warm up, and remember, Fergie must face 2 batters. His fatigue point is the 9th inning, so we're good there. He will not get tired in this inning. And Fergie tough. And Kelly, that's going to end it right there with a ground ball down to Kessinger. So a 2-out triple goes for naught, and we are heading to the bottom of the 8th inning, still 4-0 Cubs, and Fergie staring at yet another shutout. As Randy Hundley sets to lead off the 8th for the Cubs against Roberts. And 7's going to be in play, 67. And that'll be a ground ball to second base, 1 away. So honestly, as much tabletop baseball as I've played, this is probably the best 4-game stretch of any pitcher I have seen in any game. Fergie, that's going to be in play, 61 to, Roberts is going to be in play. Spangler, and Spangler, that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop, so 2 away. So yeah, an extremely impressive 4-game stretch for Fergie. It'll be interesting. In real life, he actually started very similar. He was very tough. He ended up 1969, 21 and 15 as Don Young steps in. And tough 34, and Young having a little bit of problem with the hand-eye coordination, and that is the trifecta, the 3rd time he's gone down today. So 3 up, 3 down in the 8th for the Cubbies. And we head to the top of the 9th, still 4-0. And yeah, Fergie got off to a great start in 69, and he unfortunately was one of the key pieces in that epic collapse they had at the end of the season. the September swoon where the Mets were able to overtake them. And yeah, finished 21-15, and I believe I'll have to look, but I know at one point he was easily 10 plus games. I think 12 games over 500 in terms of starting records. So the goal here is to keep him this sharp the entire season, and it will make a difference if that happens. Roberto Pena, the last gasp opportunity for the Padres here in the ninth, and ballpark check 55. That is going to be in play. So 1-28, not going to happen, and that's a fly out to center field. The Young squeezes that. 2 outs away from yet another complete game shutout as Tony Gonzalez steps in. Comes a pitch in play. Left-hander's got a hold of that, and he drives that into the outfield for a single. And they are sticking with Fergie. They're not going to lift him at this point, not with one base runner. As downtown Ollie Brown in now. And manager's decision, they're not going to try any stolen base shenanigans down 4-0 with 1 out. And 6 is going to be tough. 52 for Ollie Brown. And Brown, that's going to be another single. So the Padres getting something going here, and that's going to be a soft blooper into short left field. Runner on first advances 2 bases. So a dive out there by Williams. He can't get it, bounces away, and that allows Gonzalez to go to third base. And they're still going to leave Fergie in here. They've gone with him this far. He's still fresh because he's not giving up any runs. So Nate Colbert, crowd holding its breath as Fergie kicks and delivers. That's going to be tough. And it's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. 8 outside of Colbert's double play range, tied with Fergie. So we go to the 2-10, and 1-45 is an out. Otherwise, fielder's choice, and that'll be a fielder's choice. And the scoreless string is broken as Gonzalez comes in to score. Erased at second base is Ollie Brown, so 2 away now. And a fielder's choice RBI for Big Nate Colbert. And that brings up Al Ferrara as the crowd gives Fergie an epic standing ovation. Well-deserved for his recent run of success. And 1 run is still not bad as Ferrara, the final Padre chance. That'll be in play. And that's going to be the ball game, folks. A ground ball down to Ernie Banks. Sweet candy hop. Picks it up. Trots to the bag and flips the ball into the crowd. Heads to Fergie to give him a high five. This ball game is over. So the Padres in the 9th inning come up with 1 run on 2 hits and leave a runner. But ball game is over. The Cubbies are going to be triumphant here 4-1. And for Fergie Jenkins, he goes to 7-2 on this replay and is not going to hurt his 1.88 ERA, which is what it was coming in. So final numbers for the day. The Cubbies, 4 runs on 12 hits, 1 error. And the Padres saved most of their offense for the last 2 innings. They only had 2 hits going into the 8th. They end up with 5 hits on the day, 1 run, no errors. And Fergie Jenkins, yet another complete game victory. And in this one, Fergie's gone, I think, 4, I know for sure 3, maybe 4 straight games without walking a batter, which is phenomenal. And his strikeout numbers in this one took a little bit of a, well, actually not really. Guess he's kind of sneaky. He struck out 6, which is not bad. He had been averaging, coming into this, just under 9 a game, or 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. But 6 still very respectable, and that is your ball game. And I think player of the game again probably has to go to, well, a couple of choices here. Sweet swinging Billy Williams, he was 3 for 4, had a stolen base and scored a huge insurance run. Scored 2 runs actually for the day. Ron Santo, another one, he was 3 for 4 and knocked in 3 of the Cubbies' 4 runs and also scored 1. So Fergie's kind of had a stranglehold on the POG awards. I think we're going to give Ron Santo this one. So Santo, 3 for 4 on the day, a triple, 2 singles, runs scored, and 3 RBIs, and he is your player of the game. And from Wrigley Field, that is it. Yet another win for Fergie, again going to 7-2 on the replay. And until next time, next up, we will be back on the race circuit, red, white, and blue racing as that scram season moves on. So looking forward to that, and then we'll be back to payoff pitch for start number 10 for Fergie. So until then, thanks as always for watching, and keep rolling for the fences. Have a good day, y'all.